Everyone, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Considering the time you're actually looking at this is for me, lead consultant, Maxim Concepts Consulting Practice. Okay, so what do we do in Maxim Concepts Consulting Practice? Like I said in the last time out, is a group of professionals. We're into advisory and training in relations to law-related issue, in relation to governance, in relation to risk management, and in relation to auditing and accounting. And I remember one of the things I also spoke to us about during the last time out is that I was talking to us about external audit review and assessment and the use of AI. So today I will be talking to us about internal audit review and assessment and the use of AI. The beauty of the whole thing is, it's kind of internal audit, external, it's kind of similar. The difference is just in, the fact that the standard being used for external audit is ISA, and the one we use for internal audit is IA, and some other little differences here and there. Okay, like I spoke to us the last time out, I remember I made mention of the fact that they are just general things because we all know the specific things to do. So I give an example. I work as an internal auditor, probably in the financial sector, in a company. Most of what I will do will really not be like what an external auditor, is doing. But I think it's better I use a financial sector. Yes, because I'm used to that. I'm comfortable with that. I have experience in that. So in financial sector, you have SBUs, you have head office SBU, you have branch SBUs, and auditing this aspect too, most times because of the fact that we're used to what we do. We carry out the audit every year. So we just pack our things. Okay, this audit has been marked to me. I pack my things, I jump at it, I begin to audit and everything, without considering, the main and the first things, the main and the first things that we ought to do. And when I say first things, I first things that should be done. There are things that relates to the planning and the risk assessment, like I made mention in my last video. The planning and very important too. You plan, you ensure that you consider the planning, and you are going for that audit. Okay, what are the things that you have put in place, that this and this and this and that? This is what I'm going to do as far as this audit is concerned. So that you don't just go for the audit and you start to do something else, because most time we'll now say, okay, let me consider this, let me consider that, but is that what is actually in the plan? So very important, put that into consideration. So another one is the scope of the audit. Okay, how long does it want to take and everything? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? And things like that. We put that into consideration as well. And also the control system in that space, in that SBU, in that branch that you are auditing. What is the control system like? Is it a strong one? If it is not strong enough, it means that you're going to be suggesting, okay, additional control, put this into place and everything. And everything like that. And also the use of AI in the use of AI in internal audit review and assessment. It will help us in reporting, considering the timeline between when we finish our audit and when we eventually turn out our report. The use of AI will help us to be fast about that. And also, like I said earlier on in the last video, for the last video that relates to external audit review and assessment, talking about sampling and the fact that AI has given us the opportunity. If you don't want to, AI is now saying you can do 100%. So instead of saying that, okay, I will do 100, instead of saying that the fact that there's a standard that talks about sampling, I'm not going to do a lot. I'm going to select the ones I will do. AI is now saying that you can actually do 100%. Or you can actually do 100%. All right, thank you everyone. Do have a good day. Kindly like, share, and subscribe.